The Pixel Fold deserves a second chance. And those are words you probably never thought you'd hear me say, but hear me out. And the biggest reason is some of the features I actually like better on the Pixel Fold than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The cameras are the same, and you can get one really cheap, which is something that I think makes a big difference when it comes to these phones, because the Pixel 9 Pro Fold $17.99, it's been on sale recently for $14.99, which is a better deal. I really think that it should be $14.99 from the get-go, but yeah, you can get one for 518 bucks, Amazon Renewed. And just in case you're not familiar with the Amazon Renewed program, you get 90 days. So you can return it for no questions asked. If there's anything wrong with it, get it replaced, fix whatever, new one. And that's really good because a lot of people, when it comes to foldable phones, one, price is the biggest hurdle that people have to get over. But two, people don't know if they'll like them. They're not sure about feasibility. And there are general concerns about how well they'll hold up and things like that. And typically, when you buy a used phone, it's just like a used car, right? You drive it off the lot. What you get is what you get. I mean, if there's something wrong with it, something happens a couple days later, you could end up being stuck with it. So I don't really think many phones are worth the asking price whenever it comes to folding phones. They're so expensive, but low bar of entry, 500 something bucks, fantastic deal. I've got an affiliate link in the description if you're interested. And there's just so much I like about this phone as opposed to, oh, here we go. I've got my Pixel 9 Pro Fold as well, which is right here. So, I mean, at face value, the biggest difference you can see, we've got the shorter, wider phone versus the more normal size, basically the size of the Pixel 9 Pro. And, you know, that's cool and all, but I don't think there's a lot that's significantly upgraded. And it's interesting because some people call it the most improved phone of 2024, and I just don't necessarily think that it is. But why do I think this one deserves a second chance? I mean, that's the whole topic of discussion. Well, one, I like the Pixel Fold for the price. So I was very, 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 very against it when it came out, mainly because it has the Tensor 2 in it. They weren't giving you as much support. They made it and dropped it right before the Tensor 3 came out with the Pixel 8 series, which is a better chip. And the Tensor 2, I mean, it had its issues, especially when it came to battery, heat, signal, and things like that. But $17.99, no thanks. I actually bought one, and then I'm like, no, this phone's not worth $1,800. I returned it, and then a few weeks later, I went to Vegas. I was on a little trip, and I walked by the T-Mobile store, and I really kind of wanted it back because, well, I have serious OCD, and I'm really bad about getting rid of things, and then I want them back again. But they had a great deal. I got $1,000 off this sucker with no trade-in required. All I did was just have to add a line, and I had an opportunity to add a line for free. So I'm like, okay, free line, $1,000 off. I'll take that. And I said from the get-go, this wasn't a $17.99 phone, but I said it's a good phone for $800. And it's an even better deal for $500, even a year later. And one thing that's made me revisit it is Google extended support for it. So originally, this was 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. We're a little bit into that lifespan now, but they extended the life support for this, along with the Pixel 6 and 7 series phones. You now get 5 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. And that's one thing also that really pissed me off, because when we got to the Pixel 8, they jumped tremendously from 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches, to 7 years. 7 and 7. Not the drink, but their policy for 7 years of updates, 7 years of security patches. So now you get extra support out of this. 5 years total. Now we're like a year and a half into the life cycle, but you're still going to get several more years of support. And that's really good, especially for a premium phone. And $500 is a really good deal. So that's really why I think it deserves a second look. The Tensor 2, is it a good chip for $1,800? No, it's not. And that really rubbed me the wrong way, because we knew it was coming out. It was coming out like in 2 months. And yet I felt like this was kind of like a parts bin phone where they took the cameras. This has the same camera setup as the Pixel 7a, like the primary and the ultra wide, same as the Pixel 7a. And that's why it's interesting to me, because I hear people talk about this being the most improved phone, best foldable, which I don't think it is, or at least the Pixel 9 Pro Fold anyway. And it has basically 2-year-old 7A series cameras, which it takes good photos. it takes perfectly good photos. I mean, if you look at MKBHD, if you don't know who he is, biggest tech guy, I think, in the world, at least the United States. And whenever it comes to his blind comparison test he does with cameras every year, the Pixel 7a was up there. It was one of the winners. It went up against the Pixel, well, the iPhone 15 series. It went against the S23 series and the 7a in the blind picture test. A lot of people picked it. So Pixel 7a has great cameras. So you're not going to get bad pictures with this. It's going to take good photos. The Tensor 2, not the greatest in the world, but for $500 and a foldable phone, heck yeah, that's a good deal. You get 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, and I really do enjoy the aspect ratio on here. So one thing I actually don't like about the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is they switched to the more squared, boxy design when it comes to the internal screen, which is now 8 inches. Very large internal screen. I believe this one's 7.6 inches. It's like a tablet aspect ratio instead of a square one, and that irks me, especially when I'm playing games, playing like Boom Beach. It just doesn't come out right on the screen because it's basically a square instead of a rectangle. And if you want a tablet screen, kind of a tablet replacement, you want more of a tablet aspect ratio. So I love the aspect ratio. Yes, it has these gigantic bezels on the inside. They never really bothered me. I never really put that out as like, oh, this really irks me, big point of concern. I mean, it would be nice if they were smaller bezels and the screen went from edge to edge. And also, well, I just dropped that. Good thing I caught it. You can see the screen here doesn't open entirely flat. You know, that was another concern. And overall, yeah, not an $1,800 phone by any stretch of the imagination, but that's kind of the going rate for foldable phones. So I think Google's like, look, we'll just charge it for that, and then we'll laugh all the way to the bank if anybody actually pays that. And I think most people have generally been happy with it. And it's got just under a 5,000 milliamp battery, 4,821 milliamp, decent speakers. And I got to tell you, I love the front screen on this thing. And that's something that, it's funny, I complain about a lot of stuff, but one of the things I didn't complain about was the front screen. And the front screen experience, I said, was so good, it made me not want to open it up and use the inside screen. I would just use the front screen all the time. I said this many times, if I could get a phone with this screen size and aspect ratio, I would be in love with it. I would love to have a screen with this size, like as a normal phone. And as it stands, I mean, basically you can. You just have to get this phone, but then you get the nice 2-in-1 thing where you can open it up and you get the inside screen. So that's really nice. Now, I wish it had a stylus that you could use. I wish it had stylus support. That's the one thing that really, to me, if you have a tablet and if you have a folding phone, which effectively turns it into a portable tablet, you should have a stylus, just like you get with the Z Fold 6, Z Fold 5, all those. You get the S Pen, and the S Pen is fantastic. And that's why I keep saying that I think the Samsungs are the best, because I just don't see the point in having a tablet or tablet-like phone with no instrument to be able to use on the screen, to write, to draw, to tap, to use for drawing, for drafting, for signing, for whatever you use it for. There's so many different things. So I just don't understand why, one, in the phone world, Samsung has that on lock with the Note and the Ultra series phones. And I don't see why they have it on lock whenever it comes to the foldables. I don't know why OnePlus Open, they didn't come out with one. I don't know why the Pixel Fold, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it still doesn't have one with the new phone. So when it comes to all that stuff, plus you can only use 2 apps at a time. You can only have 2 of them open simultaneously with the Pixel Fold. So it doesn't win in the multitasking department either. So Samsung, from a software experience, they knew and they got it. We're like, okay, if we're going to make this, we need to make it basically as good as we possibly can from a hardware and a software perspective, but very expensive phones. So foldable phone, great deal, just over $500. Amazon renewed that 90-day comfort window where you can decide, do I like this? Is this for me? Is it worth it? Do I have any serious concerns about the hardware? And is it a phone that works for you? Now, foldable phones are not for everyone, but the biggest thing I think most people are concerned about is the price. The price. People are willing to try a lot of things, and if you want to combat that whole saying that we've had going the last couple of years is phones are stale, they're bland, the same thing, they've reached peak smartphone, foldables is kind of the answer, and this right here is a great opportunity to dive in for the first time, pick up a folding phone, test it out, see if you like that phone and tablet combo lifestyle device, and get it at a good price. So that's why I think we need to take a look at it a second time. We got the extended support, and a Tensor G2 is good for the price that you get here, still supported for many years. And overall, I enjoyed the Pixel Fold experience, and I like it better than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And I don't think the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is worth $1,800 either. And maybe it's worth $14.99. I don't really think it's worth that much either. I bought it because I consider myself like the de facto Pixel channel on the internet. So I cover this stuff, right? I cover all the Pixel stuff. And the Tensor 4 is a fantastic chip. I love it. It's been so good in the Pixel Pro, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The Pixel 9 Pro, Pro XL, Pro Fold, all those things. It's been such a good chip. And there's been so many nice things. But like I said, whenever you open up the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it's more of a square. And I'm just not crazy about that. Now, had they made this initially, I probably would complain less because that's basically what everybody else is doing. I mean, let's take a look at the Z Fold 6, right? So we take a look at the Z Fold 6, basically a square screen too, but the aspect ratio dimensions, so easy to hold one-handed. And of course, I can use the S Pen with it. Well, take a look at this again. It's so nice because it's basically, this is like the Pixel tablet. And it's better than the Pixel tablet, and it goes right in your pocket, which if you want to get the Pixel tablet, you can get that for less than $300 right now over at Best Buy, I think even Amazon, and it's okay. At $300, it's a really good deal. And that's how I look at this. $1,800, not a good deal. $500, good deal. And it really lets you get that opportunity and kind of break your way into it, see if you like the foldable stuff. Very low risk, especially financially. And especially now with the extra years of support, I think it makes it more appealing than maybe ever. So that's pretty much it. That's why I think it deserves a second look. And I don't usually make videos like this, but I've been thinking about it. I've used this one again a little bit since I got the Pixel 9 Pro Fold to kind of see how things are from day to day. Is it really that much better? And for the price and the form factor, I think it's a good idea if you're interested. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now, as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.